Hi, it's Susie from Pink Diamond Guide. How are you today? We just wanted to stop by and do another reading for the collective, but particularly those who are really knee deep in a twin flame journey where you're in separation and either you're not communicating or you're just getting very little communication and you're in pain, and worse than that, you're suffering. So we want to stop by and just see what's affecting you right now and ask a couple of specific questions. And when I say we, I'm talking about myself and my twin flame, Ricky. He's here. He's going to draw some cards for the masculine. We're going to ask from the perspective of the feminine how the current universal energies are playing out against you. Now, we did a reading yesterday looking at Mercury and Cancer and how that energy is playing out for you. And now we want to have a little bit more of a look that playing out alongside Mars and Taurus. So Mars is a very fiery planet, and it's passionate, action-based energies, and we've got Taurus, which is very stubborn and tenacious. Mix that with Mercury and Cancer, communication and a very loving energy, and it sets the stage for some very I don't want to say volatile, but very intense energies. And if you are finding yourself not in contact with your twin, it's probably causing you to be in a little pain. Is going to be hitting you, and it can lead to that then extended suffering. So we wanted to see sort of what's playing out around you and see if we can give you a few messages of insight, a few messages of hope to be able to help you work your way through it. Now, the other overlaying energy over the top of that is this year is going to be an exchange of energies from the asking lots of am I questions and moving into lots of I am answers. So the am I questions: am I lovable? Am I worthy? Am I on this journey? Am I receiving messages from my DM telepathically? Am I going crazy? Lots of am I questions that still need answers. And what we're going to ask the what's happening, what's playing out during the year is that you should start to move into the I ams. I am lovable. I am worthy. I know I'm on a twin flame journey for my ascension, and I know that I'm going to be okay. So that energy should start to shift by the end of the year. What we want to know is, under these current energies, what's playing out for you right now in regard to your ascension journey and your twin flame connection. Let's have a look. Let's start to draw some cards and see what we've got. And then we'll get Ricky to draw some for the divine masculine and have a look at that energy. We've got the sun come straight out. We've got the Queen of Wands. We've got the Eight of Swords in the soul space. We've drawn that again. We've got the Ten of Cups as your challenge. We have got, excuse me, the Six of Swords as the advice from Spirit. And we've got the Five of Wands as our likely outcome. What have we got at the bottom of the deck? Oh, the Page of Cups, the Two of Cups, the Hierophant, the Five of Swords, the Nine of Swords, and the Six of Wands. So the push from the universe, look at this, is a pretty positive one, isn't it? Look, we've got the Six of Wands, which is pushing you towards a victory. And that's what I said, the energy will start to move from questions around am I, and the push is to start to understand that I am. I am capable, I am worthy, I am lovable. This sits you in a space of being in victory and having achieved something. Now have a look here where his foot sits. It's like there's a level of ascension. So there's a level of rise, a level of achievement, a level of overcoming. And here he has claimed one of these wands as one of victory here, and he's claimed another wand of victory here. So here you've got this level of ascension and these wands of victory that are really claimed in a strong pose to say that you have overcome and you have succeeded, you have achieved. What have we got next? Here in the Nine of Swords space. So this is really interesting, and we'll probably come back to this card a few times during this reading, because it's the space of it can be that you kept up at night, but it can also be that wisdom comes to you through dreams or through the 5D realm. I like to look at this space as as being right before you fall asleep. You know, that little window where you're lucid dreaming or you're actively meditating on what it is that you're trying to get answers on. And the Nine of Swords comes to you now to say that the push is coming through from Spirit to give you answers from that other realm, to the big questions. And one of the big questions we asked today was about telepathy. So I'm going to sit that one right up there, because to me that's going to, I feel like we're going to get more answers around why that card has come out and what the push is from the universe. You've got the Five of Swords, which is another card of victory. So it's nice seeing the Six of Wands and the Five of Swords out there. But the Five of Swords comes into victory after you've had a battle. So as you can see there, it's like, you know, there's somebody in the background who is, you know, look like they've lost and their swords are on the ground and they've been defeated. So victory comes with a sense of collateral damage. So this could represent that as you're moving into this space of victory where you're coming into your own divine feminine, it comes, you might feel it comes at the cost of letting go. But this is actually what the aim is under this current energy. We are really looking for a push into surrender, but surrender comes once you have the answers to the I ams. So it might feel at times counterintuitive. It might feel at times as though you've lost something, or that you've given up on something, that you've taken something out, that you've had a victory that has come at a cost. But essentially, the push from the universe, it wants you to get out of this place of suffering and feel like you're starting to overcome and that you've had a victory. What else have we got here? The Hierophant. And this came out for you yesterday, I believe. I drew this in the reading. And it comes out significantly because, you know, you are being asked to have this victory. And I called out ascension here, and, you know, an achievement, having been through a battle. And what I want to point out again to here, if this is you in the Hierophant and it's representing some level of higher wisdom or some level of mentorship or moving into a higher level of commitment, I want you to know that in this representation of the tarot, there's two sets of stairs. See the ones at the front? They're your set of stairs to ascend, and see these ones at the back? They're in the same room, right? In the same room, but they're two different sets of stairs to ascend. So when you're looking, asking the question, going, are we in sync? Am I receiving information? Is telepathy real? Are we both moving on an ascension journey? I'm receiving this card and seeing it as going, there's two sets of stairs to ascend. You can't see what the divine masculine is doing. He's not in the picture. This card is about you, divine feminine. And yes, the Hierophant represents male, a masculine figure or a male figure in this, but throw gender aside, we're looking at your representation coming through as the Hierophant, and the Hierophant has that higher level of wisdom, and here's your ascension in front of you. Now you've got to take those stairs. You've got to be the one to climb them. And over here we can't see what he's doing, but we can see that there's another set of stairs to climb, and you are both in the same room. So what to me, it's another level of what's happening. One is happening to the other, even if you can't see it. Okay, what else have we got in that? We've got, look at this, we've got the soulmates come out, but I'm gonna read these two together. You know why? Because this is still the representation we're getting. The push is, yes, you feel that soulmate connection. Yes, oh, excuse me. Yes, you're feeling it intently. The Two of Cups is all about that, you know, that lovely connection, the loving bond. It's not the Lover's card that comes with all the lessons. Look, they're at the bottom of the staircase. See that? You know, they're sitting at the bottom and they're facing away from it. They're not facing a climb uphill and chasing all that stuff. They're sitting in the water with Spirit, and they're having a lovely time. So Spirit is saying that they do want to bring a more peaceful union your way, but currently all you're getting is the Page of Cups. And look, in this representation, it's very basic, and we do have the page at the bottom of the stairs with a climb still in front of them. But in the Rider-Waite version of it, the page presents with a cup with a fish in it, and that's how we're still been seeing the connection. Like it's not done yet. It still has a climb to go in front of it, even though you feel the connection intently. And we're going to talk more about the way telepathy works between twins, but essentially the message from the universe is still that page or that fish in a cup, which is not the level of connection that is going to bring you into this harmonious union. It's still a little underdone. The universe is pushing against you with the sun, with abundance. So it really does want you to feel better, divine feminine. And I know that can feel like a stretch when you've been through something as harrowing as separation and no contact, and having been abandoned by this, by the connection that you believe has a level of destiny, has a level of divinity, and has just left you to flounder. But the universe is saying that they do want you to prosper. So pain is part of this process. There is a level of inevitability about it. Now, that's not to say that every twin flame pair go through the same patterns of, they look different across the board, but there are definitely indicators that present that are familiar. So we are looking at patterns of running and chasing and separation and no contact, even if it doesn't play out to the letter in your particular circumstance. That does not mean that you are not on this journey. If yours has not played out to the letter of the law as the doctrine's playing out, there's a lot to understand about twin flame connections. And yes, pain does seem to be an inevitable part of it, but suffering can be overcome. And the universe does not want you to suffer in separation. It wants to bring you into a place of surrender and understanding where you get to enjoy the blessings of the divine. And at the moment, the questions around that: is the universe really on my side? Is it really trying to bring me into some level of happiness? Am I truly a twin flame and this divinity is meant for me? The sun comes through to tell you, yes, abundance does want to shine down on you, and these connections are looking to prosper. Okay, so what have we got? What are you showing the world right now? Look at this, the Queen of Wands. She's super creative and super passionate, and she brings forth she has passion for life, which is good. But there is kind of a, this comes forward when you've got this in your soul space. I want to read these two together because it's like you might be showing the world a very forthright energy or a very action-oriented energy, and you might even be involving yourself in creative projects to keep yourself active and amused. But it's like there's these two energies playing out side by side. So the Queen of Wands is, will have a level of confidence that this card actually belies. So to have the Eight of Swords in the soul space, I think I've drawn this 2 readings in a row, or at least I've drawn it this week. The Eight of Swords in the soul space suggests that you are really fighting to control the way your soul thinks, which means that your ego space is having a battle royale trying to get you to do what it thinks it needs to do to get you out of suffering. What I love about this representation of the Eight of Swords, do you see how separate they are? Like they're floating in the air. They're actually, most of them are behind him. He's very loosely bound. Like that is not tight binding, and there's plenty of room to slide between these swords. Now that's what you want for a soul space. You do not want your soul space bound up in overthinking. What we really want is our ego to become our friend. We really want to understand what its purpose is. If you can fathom that you are a $1 trillion piece of biotech, like there's companies all over the world spending their massive budgets on trying to rebuild you, like robots trying to become human, and this is what you are by default and by design. And one of the most fascinating aspects of human of our biotech is this function called the ego, and it is going to rise up. It is our very own personal bodyguard, and it's going to rise up to try and prevent us from feeling any hurt or harm that it has been coded since the day you were born to protect you from. Now, you've been watching relationships play out since the day you were born. So whether it's a relationship with your mum and your dad, and then you've watched things on movies and listened to songs, and you're watching relationships play out since the day you were born. So you had this level of coding that your ego has come to understand about what it needs to do to keep you safe from harm when it comes to love and relationships. Enter your twin flame, and they throw that rule book out the window, and they rise up a very core fear. Humans are born with a couple of core fears. You're born with a fear of loud noises, a fear of falling, and another one that they're introducing as possibly a born fear is a fear of abandonment. And what has your twin flame come along and done? It's activated that very core fear, and you've had a bucket load of programming since you were very little to tell you what romantic relationships should look like. And now here you are in your soul space, you and your ego, trying to figure out how to get you out of pain and suffering. But your ego really doesn't have the answers to this question, and it has your soul bound up in all this thinking. So my best advice on this one is to make your ego your amigo. Your ego, you can imagine it as if it is your own personal bodyguard, like it's you and me sitting across the table from each other, and I'm giving you all sorts of explicit instructions on how to not get hurt in this twin flame scenario. And right now, I'm running on autopilot. Like, you're just letting me do whatever it is that I want to keep you safe. And there's no instruction otherwise. But imagine if you sat down with your ego as if we're having this conversation now, and you addressed it and said, I hear you. I hear what you're doing. I know what you're trying to do. I know you're trying to keep me safe. But I've got this. And you start to have conversations with your ego that are as real as the conversation that you're having with me, and you allow your soul to come out from behind the guard of your ego and let the healing begin. Let the surrender phase begin. And it is, honestly, you $1 trillion piece of biotech, you, with this fascinating little piece of programming called your ego that's working so hard to keep you safe. The job, and you'll hear it in you hear a lot of people say you got to kill off your ego. You don't got to kill off your ego. You got to learn how to work with it. It was given to you by the divine with a very, very specific purpose to keep you safe. Now, your twin flame has come along and upended your apple cart and has made you feel as unsafe and unworthy and unloved as you've ever been. And so your ego's going, we don't want to feel like that. We don't want to feel like that at all. We're going to put whatever we need to in place to prevent that happening again. Now, this facility can play out on whatever level it needs to, because we are energy at the end of the day. So if in your core belief system and your ego is activating from that core belief, it believes your twin is going to cause you harm, you will not come into a place of surrender. And that fear will keep you in pain, that fear will keep you chasing, and it will keep you out of the harmonious union that you actually are chasing. And I know I got a bit of a roll there, but I think it's a really, really important concept, because look what comes in your challenge place, Divine Feminine. Is this a kicker or what? What is your challenge? To feel happy. Your challenge is to trust harmonious union. Your challenge is to trust that this can come about. Your challenge is to go, I am a twin flame. I am deserving of harmonious union. I am deserving of letting the pain go and letting happiness come into my life. That will come about on the other side of surrender and healing and ascension. Getting into true alignment with the divine and allowing yourself to believe, A, that you are lovable, that you are worthy, and this abandonment that has happened to you, it's not your fault. It's not anything that you could have prevented, and it's not anything that you know, like, we're going to shift this dialogue within your soul space to going, am I, which is what these Eight of Swords are sitting up there doing and having these conversations, and your ego is going, well, I'm going to answer the question for you. We're not going to let that come back around. Your challenge is going to be to find the right frequency with which happiness is not a challenge. Happiness in union is not the thing that challenges you most. What is your advice from Spirit? And this is actually it's a lovely card to come out, the Six of Swords. Now, the Six of Swords I can associate with a couple of things. Essentially, it is, yes, moving you into clearer waters, absolutely. But I also equate this card to domestic violence or a level of abuse. And I don't know why I want to say that in this particular scenario, other than to say, are some of you feeling as though these swords that you have in your boat, you feel a level of perhaps mental abuse? If some of you have gone through physical abuse as well, and that's something that you're fighting to have healing from, I see you. I've been there, done that, and I know it's a lot to heal from. And I'm feeling it on some level that there's some healing going on for some in the collective who might have been through some physical abuse, but definitely feeling it around mental abuse. So if this is resonating for anyone, it feels like this is a big part of the next healing cycle for you, to really understand how that abuse has affected you, and to invite the divine to help lead you to calmer waters. And lean on the collective as well for as much healing and learning and growth as needed. But this one feels like a powerful message to me, that the divine really wants to move you to calmer waters and far from the dark and struggle places, the pain places, the suffering places that you've been till now. A likely outcome under this current energy, we still have this, the Five of Wands. It's such a weak energy. It's such a, I'm going to say, it's such a pissy energy. I hate it. I don't hate it. That's terrible. But to me, it's like a who left the coffee pot on, let's fight it about it kind of an energy. And look at this. Here's the sun in the background, and we're going to go toe to toe with who left the coffee pot on. It's still a really tricky energy. But what I want to say to you, Divine Feminine, as much as this is a frustrating energy, I want to encourage you that frustration to me always comes right before a breakthrough. And if you are in a battle with yourself, if you're in a battle with your ego, in a battle with the divine, whatever this battle is playing out to be, I want to encourage you that this level of frustration often comes right before a breakthrough. And on the other side of this energy, I hope that you have clarity and understanding. I feel feels like a moment of frustration, particularly given the way that the energies are playing out universally, that there might be a little bit more of a to and fro to go on, and that you might be feeling some big passionate energies and nowhere to release them, or like no outlet to express how much love you're feeling. And then here's the second part of our reading, where the equation asks, is this frustration or this desire, which we had our Queen of Wands there, is this coming because your divine masculine is connecting with you telepathically? So I'm going to get Ricky to draw some cards for us and see what's going on with the divine masculine that might be influencing your energies. Ooh, and we have got the Nine of Cups come out straight away. And this is the way that, if the universe is, if our number one question is, under this energy, I asked, are you receiving telepathy that might be causing a level of frustration? Look how this played out. The universe wants to bring you to a level of abundance, and the divine masculine is going, all my cups runneth over, or I want all my cups to runneth over, or the universe is pushing him into a place where he wants all of his wishes to come true. So look, can you imagine if you are sitting in a space of telepathy with your twin flame, and you're processing these really heavy feelings of going, how much hurt I've been through, and the message that he's sending you across the wire is, I want all of these blessings, whether he's saying, I want all these blessings for you, I want all these blessings for us, or he's just putting a message to you that he's having some kind of epiphany that he wants all of his cups to run over and all of these blessings to come true, how that would cause a sense of frustration in you. Like these polarizing energies, or are they mirroring energies? They're positives and negatives that are playing out, which would definitely cause a sense of frustration to rise up in you, Divine Feminine. What have we got here in what he's showing the world? Look, a sense of victory. Did we have that? I think we did. Do we? Yeah, look. See, it's a push for both of you to have this victory with collateral damage. Yours is rising up from the universe to come into this place of victory with collateral damage, which on some levels is a place of surrender, or feeling like you've given up the fight, that you don't want to be in the battle. You've had enough of a fight, you're done. And what he's showing, look at this, is like, if you're the Queen of Wands and you're sitting in a place of passion and desire, and you know, however that expresses itself in the world, it's like, what level of victory is he feeling with collateral damage? Perhaps he is, and look, it could be a sense of spying energy. It doesn't necessarily, that's not necessarily what this card means. But if you can see that if he's looking in on you, and that's kind of the way that I'm holding that card, and he's like having these battles out here, but he feels victorious that he can look in on you. And that's not necessarily just driving past your house and looking through your window. I don't see it as stalker energy, though, I don't know. But that's not necessarily how I'm seeing it. It's that, he might be looking you up on social media, and have you had a glow up? Are you, even though you might be feeling the battle really intensely behind the scenes, this to me is like your public image, or how people are seeing you, is that you Queen of Wands, she's pretty, she's strong and she's passionate, she's desirable. And if he's looking in on that, look at this, and he's sending you a message across the way, what kind of victory is he having, and what kind of collateral damage is he experiencing to be connecting with you that way? To me, I do feel, look, you're looking straight ahead, so you can't see him, but he's looking in at you and having some level of a victory. Does it feel like there could be a little bit of that, telepathy playing out there? Yeah, I could definitely lean that way. And in our soul, oh, look at this in the soul space. See? Oh, Divine Feminine, look, this is, can you imagine why you're feeling frustrated? Here's you. If this is the message that he's sending you down the wire, union, look at it. And what have you got? You're having to play out the games of ascension still, because you can't see what he's doing and thinking and feeling. But if he's sending that to you telepathically, wow, of course that's putting you up in a mental prison and going, how do I get out of pain and suffering when I can't get this idea of union out of my mind? Like, it just keeps popping into my mind and going round and round again. And I suppose that's something we can reflect on, is when we were separated, is that we couldn't sort of confirm it while we were separated, but now looking back, we can confirm we were popping up in each other's dreams, and just in each other's thoughts. It would just be I wonder how he's going, or I wonder how
they're doing, how they're feeling.
How they're doing, how they're feeling. Yeah. And the sneaky little stalk on Facebook from time to time. I admit it. But that's the thing, is like, when you get this vision in your mind going, are they happy? Are they settled? What are they doing? What's going on? And, look, we can't confirm for certain that, telepathy was playing out, but we can say that was playing out for us. We were thinking of each other and showing up in each other's dreams. And how it's played out since we've been back together is before, or just after we sort of reconnected, I got really sick, and it was just like an overnight thing, but like I ended up with a really sore chest, and you'd gone away for work for a few days, and I had a really sore chest and a really bad fever, and I couldn't breathe, and I ended up in the hospital, and the doctors did all the tests and everything, and they couldn't find anything actually wrong with me. And overnight, like, I'd been really sick, and then in the morning I just suddenly got better. Like, there was nothing that they'd particularly done to fix it, because they didn't know what the problem was, but I kind of spontaneously seemed to heal. And it went, well, that was a little bit strange, but onward and upward. And then not too much longer after that, Ricky got really sick with a serious chest infection, like something that put him in hospital and isolation. And it was like I had this like precursor to what was wrong with him, and he got really sick to the point where he needed a tube in his chest to drain fluid. And then when they put the chest in his tube, I actually felt it in my back. So same place, and it was like one of those things that you go, well, that was a little bit how you're going. And it does kind of add to this idea that twins do feel each other's pain and do sort of connect with.
Chest.
Is that what I said? What did I say?
Chest in the tube.
A chest in the tube. That thing. What was it that you had? You had a tube in your chest. Yeah. So anyway, I felt it. Whatever that was that played out, I felt it. The point being is that kind of lends itself to that idea that, you know, you think and feel out of that same soul blueprint, and you know, as you get closer, that that feeling what the other person is feeling perhaps gets stronger. Well, at least that's been our experience, yeah. And we'll continue to test the theories as we go. But if that's the truth, look at this. If what's going on in the soul space is that union is being thought of and being connected, but you can't see what's going on, you can't feel what's going on, that's going to lead to this level of frustration. And the question is, am I really picking up these thoughts? Am I really being drawn towards these unions? How do I stop myself from feeling in pain when this is what's being pushed into my soul space from the other side of the blueprint? Of course it's going to lead you to this. Your ego's going to go, please don't take us down that path again, it's too much. But the pull on your soul, that's too much as well. Like, naturally, feminines, like, there's going to be a massive, you know, it's frustration, literally. And this is what this energy is. It's like, because you can't pin down the source of the problem, it's like the sand in the shell that eventually makes the pearl, but the niggle is just, it leads you to frustration, and to the point that you probably don't want to deal at all anymore. Was this my next one over here? Yeah. So, okay. What's the challenge? The Emperor. Look at this. His challenge is to step up. He might be sending you this down the wire in your soul space, but his challenge is to step up, and you might be feeling that in that telepathy. You know, your challenge is to actually believe that happiness can be yours. And he's saying, I'm feeling really challenged to be what you want me to be. I'm feeling really challenged to step into the role as the Emperor. So you'll be feeling those opposing forces. Look, you'll be having this happy ever afters being sent to your soul space, and then saying, I don't know if I've got what it takes to stand up. Guess what? Feminine pushes you into this struggle. Oh, but look at this. The advice from Spirit is that they do want to give, essentially. Look at these sixes. These beautiful, beautiful balancing energies of the sixes. Essentially, Spirit's saying what you're receiving from them via this telepathy is that they do want to give, and they do want to bring things into balance, and that they do want to take you into peaceful waters and away from anything that has felt like pain or abuse that has been caused in the past. So here you've got these two lovely six energies of, and Spirit is advising that this is, you know, this is what wants to be given. Like sixes, this is something that wants to be given. And what do they want to give? They want to bring you into peaceful waters, but their challenge is to be the man to do it, or to be the masculine to do it. And what have you got as the oh, look at this. Look at this. The potential outcome is the King of Pentacles. So um, for the King of Pentacles to come up against this frustration, and we're talking about telepathy here. We're really looking, our question was, we're not asking how they're presenting in the 3D here, we're asking the likely outcome of them being able to connect with you, telepathy, under the current energies available, and they come through as the King of Pentacles. So that is someone who knows how to do the work, who knows how to get about their business, and to be managing their affairs. So that's a pretty intense energy over the top of your frustration. And look, your level of frustration, if you're feeling this push down the wire where you are going, am I feeling, is it really them reaching out, is this going on, and it pushes you to frustration, they'll be feeling that push back towards them. So that's interesting as outcome. What do we have pushing up from underneath the deck? Oh, look. Oh, my. We've got the star. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. See this? I like this as a story. I just felt like this would become relevant. Imagine, I want to set them up like this. Like, are we going to be able to see them? As if the divine masculine connecting with the divine itself, or with their guides and angels, pouring down that energy. And remember, I said it would happen right before the sleep space, or just as, that space of lucid dreaming where you really remember what's going on. And if you can, during this time, have a journal nearby, because this is, especially with the Sirius Gateway still open, closed, it's finished on the 7th of the 7th, but the energies will be felt for a couple of weeks. So still great time to get into meditation or that dream space and see if you can receive any messages. Look, this is where we saw each other most, when we were in separation. In dreams. Yeah, fully. It was the thing, like the way that it synced up for me. Twin flame doctrine, it's there to serve and support, absolutely. But your story might play out slightly different to somebody else's. And the way that Ricky stayed in my energy field was definitely in the dream space versus the I see his name everywhere I go, that kind of thing. It played out this way for me. And we acknowledge that from this side of the fence, but that to me is a real firm indicator to the way that plays out, and that we resonate with that so deeply, that telepathy is a real thing. And how it's playing out for you is, you can trust it, believe it, take note of it, and use the information that comes towards you to help push you on your ascension path, and moving towards what it is you need to know to come into alignment with the divine first. Come into alignment with the divine first, and the rest of it, look, there's your ascension path, right? If they're tipping the information down, look, climb those levels of information. Each time a new piece of information comes through, use it, learn it, find your way into mastery. Under the 9 of Swords, you'll get wisdom. This is a wisdom space, and particularly under the energy of the Sirius, look, the star. Under this Sirius Gateway, while it's available to you, take as much advantage as you can of the downloads that are available. Your divine masculine will be amongst it. I could almost guarantee it, that you'll get messages out of this process, particularly in that dream space. It feels to me like something I really want to push. And here, look, what have we got? Look at this. To me, this is a card of communication. I do see it as a card of communication. It's friendship, it's fun, it's more than one party coming together. Now, if we're adding it to this push that you've got here, you can suggest that there's other people wanting to interact in your dream space, whether they're friends, family, ancestors. I'm seeing this card playing out as being on the other side, and I know that that's not always the traditional representation, but the way that sequence is really jumping out at me is going that there's information to be gained from the other side of the veil, that is really going to make a difference for you, Divine Feminine. I love it when the Tower comes out. I really do. And some people see this card and go, oh, here comes the Tower. What's going to happen? But remember I was saying before that when you get frustration, you just right before a breakthrough. The Tower is the breakthrough. It is that bolt of lightning that knocks all the bricks to the ground and lets you start to rebuild again. So when you're asking the questions, the big am I, and Spirit comes through and starts to tell you I am, and you start to celebrate and understand who you are, it will rock your world like a lightning bolt. You start to come into awakenings that you couldn't believe existed. Under these energies, I've got journals full of bloody drawings and stories and all sorts of stuff. And then on the other side of it, we were able to sort of go through all that information together and make sense of it. So don't underestimate these lightning strikes, and when this information pours through from the other side, that it's going to help you rebuild on the other side, even though it might feel like you're crashing down for a minute. Or, you know, if your Divine Masculine comes through in a particularly vivid vision and it makes you feel like you're just losing your shit and you just can't get your act together and you need to go back to ground zero and rebuild again, trust that it's going to bring you something really worthy and something wonderful. I love it when towers come about, even though it can feel like crap on the other side of it. There's always something magic to be gained. Now we've also got, pushing through from the bottom of the deck, the Four of Cups. And look at this. Divine Masculine sitting under the tree. If this is what's pushing from the universe and we've got all of this playing out, look, this is reality. He might be looking down at it, but look at what the divine is doing, or look at what the daydream is doing. It's the cup he doesn't have. What's up in his thoughts? What's up in this space of telepathy? It's the cup he doesn't have. And right now, Divine Feminine, in these twin flame pairs that are in separation and that are not in contact, what have we got? Communication via telepathy, right? Not what's in reality, not what he's looking down at, what he's thinking about, what he's fantasizing about. And in this space, it takes some discretion. Is that the word I'm looking for? He has to really he has to be discerning. That's the word I'm looking for, at how he thinks about what's going on here, because it could have the ability to knock over what's going on here. So this to me is it's a really interesting card to come through as a push from the universe after that sequence. Do I think telepathy is real between twins? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I really do. It's a thing, and it shows up in all sorts of different ways. No two twin flame pairs are the same, so don't expect your scenario to look exactly like somebody else's. The doctrine is there for a guide. Are you running, chasing, separating, no contact, surrendering? Guarantee you pretty much are if you're twin, but doesn't have to play out the same for every set of twins to make it that you are a twin. So when you're going through the am I questions, is this, am I really on this journey? Am I crazy? Am I? Just because your journey looks different doesn't mean that it's not your journey. These are journeys to ascension. They're very, very personal, and there's a gazillion different ways to get back to the divine. So discernment in going, what comes through to you, take notes, write it down, put a journal together. It will all start to make sense, and particularly when you get to this side of it and you look back, you'll have so many aha moments. It just will, you go, I say all the time, you just can't make this shit up. Like, you just can't make this shit up. It's too in sync. It's too much. So it's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a legit thing. All right, should we pick some Divine Love Oracles? I'm pumped about this particular energy, Divine Feminine. If it's you watching, if you're here too masculines, I'm not meaning to be dismissive, but by and large, the people that we talk to are feminine, so that's where I've directed the reading. But we'll draw some cards for both, shall we? I'll draw one for the Divine Feminine. What have we got? There you go. You draw one for the masculine. See? I love this. I love this. This is exactly what I was just talking about, and you just cannot make this shit up. This is quite literally what my journals are all about. Is like, and what these downloads, when anytime I'd get to a particular energy phase where it'd be like a lion's gate, or like a new moon, or a particular energy was playing out where I thought I could really grab some extra information, I would get into meditation, and just anything that would come through, anything that would come in a dream, I would set myself up and come through with all of these ridiculous puzzle pieces. And then I'd look for them out in the universe so that they were coming at, I was playing, they had to be affirmed by 3. But the puzzle was what put it all together for me. And at the time, it doesn't necessarily make sense, and it can look as ridiculous as this. You've got a million piece puzzle and all the pieces look the same and you don't quite know where to put them. But it's like when you do put them together and you see the full picture, you literally say, I cannot make this shit up. This is real. This stuff is real, and this journey is worth the ride. The pain was worth the lessons, and suffering is absolutely optional. And I tell you, under these particular energies, download as much as you can. Listen to your divine masculines when they're reaching out through telepathy. It puts the puzzle together. What did you get for the divine masculine?
Rest.
Rest. Ooh. See, this is, yeah, that's interesting too. Look, because we've had some battles coming through here for the divine masculine, so it's not a massively surprising energy. And looking for a bit of peace and harmony, wishes to come true here, looking for some stability, and looking to look. He's won some sort of a battle, whatever he's managed to overcome. This can be breakup energy. This can be having moved away from scenarios that weren't serving him. It doesn't have to be a karmic partner or a relationship. It can be a way of living. It can be battles with addiction. It can be a job that they don't like. It can be any number of things that is something that they have to battle and win. But now it appears that they're really seeking in their soul space some level of harmony. But to really move into the next phase, there are these purge phases, and when you come out of the purge phase, there is that definite rest phase that follows. And divine feminine, I know you know what I'm talking about here. So if we've had a bit of a tower moment where there's been some lessons to be learned, and they've got all their bricks on the ground and they don't quite know how to rebuild them, their challenge is to be the emperor again, and to show up and to bring harmonious union forward. What comes first is rest. And in that rest phase, guess what? They're going to get puzzle pieces, because guess what? This is where the information comes through. This is where the divine will rain it down on them. That's where we had the star energy over the top of the rest phase or the dream space. So do I think you guys have telepathy in that zone? Absolutely, I do. Do we have one card for the connection? I see, look. Are you guys twins? Yeah. This card, God's Warriors. If this is our last message for the day, and our question is, are you worthy? Are you lovable? Are you on mission? Are you a twin flame? And is your twin capable of telepathy with you? This card answers all those questions with yes. Yes, you are. God's Warriors are here to carve the path for humanity, to lift the vibration of the planet and have a more harmonious planet across the board. You guys are like the walking through the jungle with the machetes, cutting down the grass and carving the path for everyone else to follow. Is it a big job? It's massive. But each soul on the planet has a different job, a different task to undertake. And as God's Warriors on a twin flame journey, yours is to understand the nature of unconditional love. And unconditional love comes on the other side of fear and pain, and bringing your ego into a place where you can appreciate how it serves you and how it helps you connect closer to the divine on this journey as God's Warriors and twin flames. If you've listened so far, I know it's a long reading, we say thank you so very much. And if you like the way we deliver information, if you would do the like, share, subscribe, so we can reach as many twins who might be struggling with the journey as we possibly can. This wave who are really struggling right now, I know you're seeing readings where everything's saying that there's lots of bubble love and union and you should be hearing from your person. twins come in waves. Twins come in waves, and we're recognizing that there's a wave that's coming behind us who are still really suffering, and we want to be here for you. So I think that's it from us.
That's it.
And if you've
Yeah.
listened this far, thank you. And really take care of you. And that's bye from us for now.